He can take a leave for make he get time for look after him picking before he return to work. That 10 day, now we call maternity leave. Before na 12 weeks for give the woman that time, they 12 weeks for the with him in Pekin, may he settle the Pekin, and then whilst he still they get paid. This time we don't extend down from 12 weeks for let it be 14 weeks, and then they now in line with international best practice, so that the woman go there 14 weeks before he return to work. Another
Mansi, just before you get to the other one, you know, the forum is on fire. Yeah, people that really recommend you. Yes, you know, I see Mohamed Kalon and they say they still ask for the ministers of trade and agriculture. Then go eventually. Beth Egerton, they say, they tell me you plenty, thank you. Yes. Oh, people that say that they send love and warm hugs for you. You know. So, so Alhaji Usman Abadin, they say, thank you very much for being such a progressive and groundbreaking minister. Yes, Hosam Conte say, this is a serious listening government. They deserve 2 terms and more for accomplishing the good works that would not begin going forward. David Mansari said about all, so would they do very well. Oh no, somebody just try for disrupt the decorum. Tell them, then they, you know. So I know they read that one day. Sorry, this would they try for elevate the discourse. So somebody say Eddie Grant say for the past 20 years this bill been done there in Labour. Say it don't finally give birth under the leadership of President Bill and under the ministerial guidance of a very distinguished and committed woman. You know. Oh, okay, Eddie, thank you very much, Brian. A small, you take it one day at a time. Madam Minister, thanks, but hope it will be effective. So, Madam Minister, don't do a bit. We will continue for lobby with all the stakeholders for make sure say materialize. And Mustafa Masakoi, you know, Mansi, you know, Boku people that they commend you for this epoch-making event, for this groundbreaking and frame-breaking change. So we want for join them for congratulating. Yeah, I mean the message is in Boku. Yes, if we say now, then no more to read. So Abdullah B. Lukuli said this particular bill clearly demonstrates that this is a responsible government. This is the beginning. So this is not beginning. You know, people that believe in this bill, it looks like they have been waiting for it. So thank you for pulling it off.
Absolutely. Yeah. And people that, because I think to say all man don't see we get potential we will not utilize. And with the talk say we want for go middle income. With the talk say things are difficult. How you go able for grow the economy when are the same people that no more they in the economy where they participate? You cannot grow the economy. You get for make sure say it is widen. And how you go widen now? You get for bring new players into the space. And so you get for make sure say that they happen. And at that day we want to talk about the financial inclusion. The bill talks about financial inclusion. You go be it go interest you for no Rado. Woman from one I also today, so woman then they go for go take a loan. The first thing when they ask you, what you man? If you man know they let give you loan. Yes. If you don't get man where they countersign for you, not they get loan. Then they say, hey, well, you and that is not the way to go. We they say if the woman not get the ability for repay, then no giam. But not tell and say she can only be qualified if you get man. If you not get man, we will be a guarantor. Therefore, she cannot get a loan. So that is going out. The financial inclusion inside the bill gives powers to the minister, the Ministry of Finance, and the Bank of Sierra Leone for come up with new methodologies and new approaches to increase access to finance for women. That's going to create a lot of entrepreneurs, a lot of women will want to raise their businesses to a different level. Then we can get access now to finance for letting go able to raise their business to another level. That is really key. Then also mainstreaming and gender responsive budgeting. The law now, they mandate mainstreaming. Every ministry, the Ministry of Information and Communication, now, we get for all this to now, follow, make sure say, all of our policies, all our legislation integrates the gender dimension inside. Now it becomes law. Every ministry get for do one. So agriculture, it get for make sure say in policy there, in legislation, all include the gender dimension. So you beneficiary them.
How about to break small bits? You know, this thing now we don't talk important landmark achievements that is. I don't allow rush through them. You know, you don't mention, you know, just last week or 2 weeks ago, we did now the Minister of Lands and Country Planning. The woman, they with the husband, the life die and left property. They say, you know, woman, you know, entitled for get land. We don't clear that bottleneck. So now, you know,
me, you, and waiting self, lands minister to rap. Remember when we all been sit down together? Where would they go through the act line by line? You see,
that was the moment
not technical people then do now. We the minister then go sit down 2 days.
That was the moment well spent. So pull out that bottleneck is out of the way. This all the add President Bill in gender empowerment credentials. Now don't come back to this one. You said before now, women they go ask for a loan in a bank. There's a way man. So those even tell me say so woman can go rent house. Then they ask way man.
Correct.
And me get a very personal experience. Without be the rent before I be move into my house. My wife can, you know, because I've been work abroad, I can send the rent to my wife. My landlord not the taker. They said I made the rent house too. You understand? So all that what did this law mean for some of them kinds of things? I think a fine, let's take baby steps. Let people that really understand and journey this long journey with we because it's important.
Okay. That talk the way you don't talk so. Nine come to the gender mainstreaming. The gender mainstreaming was say every sectoral policy. Trade get for look at in policies. Lands and the country planning and the housing, get for look at them policies. For let them say how certain things are being done and ensure the gender dimension is integrated. The same way how we do with lands, the same way how we do with mines, the same way how we do with the public elections, that the same way every ministry, they look at them policies, then they look at the legislation, because now from we guide all the operations where they go out na the country. Now from where it come off from, that is the source, that is the premise. So once we don't put our inside with policies and with legislation for say this is not acceptable, this cannot be done, then the implementation goes outside. So now they begin first. And to have that, for make sure say that they happen, we they get gender units. Now every planning department, now every ministry. So a gender unit will be established within every planning directorate. Now all the ministry then will get a gender unit. So inside there, they will have a mandate to ensure the integration of gender demands into all the sectoral policies, not in particular ministry. So for housing, for example, how the private sector, they can handle rent, how the private sector they handle rent, how the private sector they work with tenants, the respective ministry where they handle private sector engagement, get a look at standing and say, okay, we have a policy that guides this sort of engagement. So therefore, we get for integrate standing inside the gender demand, say it doesn't have to happen like that anymore. Because everything I will tell you, everything that happens outside emanates from our policies and our legislation from our respective ministries.
So, Manti, I mean, you don't talk this all in a very beautiful thing on paper, you know. I know very strong Sierra Leonean women, the rare national heroines there, who for celebrate, then they make a big wall of resistance in renting accommodation, in having access to finance, in all lengths. And this policy don't articulate it very well. Well, I know the government were at the surveying, now some of the finest Sierra Leonean brains there. So people then concerned about implementation. For example, may go any woman go for go rentals, they now begin to tell and say, let go bring a man. Waiting at the provisions then for people then where they resist this kind of change. Yeah, so I think the family will collect for this.
Number one, when it comes to implementation, me and Wansley, I know say we don't get the history for say Salon don't get history for say we can develop law then implementation no day, but in our own government. We they implement, and I want to assure people then say the implementation will be done because we self one for FIAM. It is not just about the fairness of women there. We want time for let country grow. We want time for let prices then come down. We want time for let inflation fall. So it is important for let we implement. So definitely 100%, I will assure the audience that we had today and we are determined for make sure say implementation take place. But there are punitive measures. There are punitive measures. Every single provision na the act we no implemented carries a fine as well as a prison term. So you have a prison term of 1 year up until 5 years, and then you also have a fine of I think it is 100,000 up until 500,000, something like that. But it has
100,000
new leons, yes.
Okay, so I mean this one very important. You know, like you say, these governments that will make laws there will also to make sure say we not only left the gather dust in a shell for them, we also make sure so practicalize them. Who do the cybersecurity and crime law, for example, already would set up the national SAT, already would all begin to judges there and law enforcement officers there because it's not new legislation already able to implement that. So, you know, I don't get any doubt. You and a person who are sitting in a cabinet with, I know say you're very rigorous, so you can't put it in there. And the president will get, you know, that talk and do person. Once he talks something, he put a head, he will make sure say it gets a logical conclusion. You know, something that we talked before, I want for Rob Motpa. If you mention, say, government, not very serious government, would make a lot of sacrifices. You know, so sit down discipline will just day about for start a gala dinner for mark the end of Innovation Africa and tomorrow the end. So, but I may not make this commitment. We don't send poster out. The vice president may literally just come in. I had to leave because Governor Kana, who would not have loved to be another, you know, among the cream of society, the Zambian society and other colleague ministers all over. It comes with a lot of sacrifices, but this now don't sign up to. I mean, it's just fair and proper say we do this. So yes, man, you don't talk about few things there. You don't talk about access to finance. You don't talk about 30% representative and appointing positions there. Yes, waiting at the other cardinal features there of this gender empowerment law, so we parliament don't pass.
Now we also talk about the implementation engine. This bill or the act now also mandates the development of a steering committee. Inside the steering committee, you get civil society inside. You get a female member of the paramount chiefdom inside. You get other government functionary there inside, where they sit down for ensure say they monitor the implementation of this act. Also, the act mandates that the Minister of Gender and Children's Affairs on an annual basis for reports to Parliament. For show how this act here so they be implemented. So safeguards then they around where the acts don't put for make sure say the act is implemented. Because if it not be implemented, you get alarm bells will come out from the steering committee. You get alarm bells will come out from civil society because then they inside it. You get alarm bells will come out from parliament, from the gender committee for say, hey, we're not hearing nothing, we're not seeing nothing with the report. So safeguards then they will for propel the government for make sure say the implementation of this act here so take place. I mean, the other thing I will say about this, I mean, we don't talk say it's groundbreaking. We're not to go over that again. But what I want to say is let people they're not afraid let we come on board and support the implementation of this because we want them to be implemented. The next steps are for President for sign them. Then after that, they will put together the regulations. The ministry will lead that for put together the regulations. After that, we do a massive sensitization drive across the entire country for let people to understand what this mean. What it mean for them as individuals, what it mean for the country, how the country go benefit from them, let people they understand that. We're not going to do that by ourselves because the ministry not get the capacity by itself. We'll bring partners them together, we'll educate them, let them understand, and we take this bill across the entire country. Let all understand this new law. Say this new law, now me get her, now you get her, now salon get her for make less salon and go before. Now we all get her. So now we all get and now we all get for benefits.
We get the comments now, we get people that are very excited, say this bill gets safeguards there. For example, you mentioned the steering committee membership, including civil society, technocrats then, women representatives, traditional leaders then. So then one day I go ring alarm bells. Even the citizens, because once we all own this bill, we take ownership of it. We know say it's here to serve us, mainstream interest, and make sure say we reduce and narrow the gender gaps. It will make this bill. This is unlike many other bills who made us have been at this country. So how we get to this bill? I don't say the ministry now they provide leadership. What are they on a work with for pull this off? Because this is not a joke. This is a millennial bill on a pull off. So tell me, who are they work with for get to this point? You don't mention cabinet policy, no doubt.
Yeah. Yes, I go be failing in my duty if I not talk about all the women's organization that we support. We really are grateful that we get rich support from across the spectrum of women's group that we come together for support. We have lawyers, we have a women's forum, we get 50-50, we get campaign for good governance, we get a whole host of partners. Inside the ministry, we have 3 committees. We have a committee for gender, we have a committee for children's affairs, and we also have a committee for planning. So then committee, then they bring together all our partners them who they work with. So inside they will pull them all together for let's work with Care International, Plan International, all these organizations that would support gender, they all come and they all support we one way or another. Their contribution make this TSO go forward. They have a role where they all play. Either they say something we made sense to us, or they help we for send the message out, or they count for support we, or they encourage we, or financially they supported in terms for help with the sensitization. One way or another, their contribution was part and parcel of this process. So I use this opportunity for thank them all, because they're also a part and parcel of the success of this act.
Okay, so we don't hear it one day. So I want for echo then sentiments and day for tell all man thank you. We play a role for make law get this law. I mean, from 1808 to this day, we don't ever get this kind of frame breaking legislation. Woman and they talk about 30% now for both appointive and elective positions there, and even at the private sector, we get over 25 people, now employees there. They get maternity leave and other things there. This is not something you can take for granted, because this gets a lot of interest there at stake. If we talk about members of parliament, and for example, by this new arrangement, some people are going to be disadvantaged, no doubt. So for them, parliament in the too, it was not a joke. One for using this opportunity for echo you kind sentiments there. So His Excellency the President, we even in most difficult times, they abandon a minister there. Once they don't give the matching orders, they will support. Parliament, I mean, Parliament has also been a very progressive parliament, right? In spite of the initial posture. I mean, they're able to repeal the criminal libel law. That is not to say they did not have initial objections. They enact the cybersecurity and crime law. They had initial objections there, and now they don't do dual bill. They don't also abolish the death penalty. So it's made a very progressive parliament. So I want to commend the leadership of parliament, the right honorable
I think
speaker.
you're very right in that. You can't ignore, for say, them put aside them personal feelings for let them look at the bigger picture, because every single one within a parliament could be vulnerable. And who says are vulnerable to this act, because you don't know if they come back, you don't know if you make that list, because the road get for be made for one woman for enter. So you don't even know. So but they put aside all of that day, and it showed leadership. And again, the stand where the leader of government business take, the stand where the speaker take, the way our see, and to be honest, from all sides, when it gets to a certain point, we begin to see all man begin to say, oh yes, we see that this is important. We see that this could benefit the country. So, then if you can't ignore, they play the part, and we really get to thank them also. But I wonder we also, look at even the white elephant. Not all man get for agree with we. Not all man get for see say this bill or this act good, because some people wish not to win the pass and then pass. Some people wish say this bill this is so good that we wish not to this government's pass. We wish that other governments now for we don't pass. But I believe say the majority of people from waiting middle experience, from the support we've been there in parliament, from the support what they receive from all across, people see that this is the way to go. Then see say this will really change the trajectory for Salone. Then see say Salone will benefit as a result of that. So if one people then they raise some negatives, I mean, let's ignore them, because eventually then we'll see waiting this guy for do for them and for the country as a whole. We're not lying. We're not playing politics. This is the right thing to do. With the Kole Rwanda, with the Kole Senegal, this is what they did. They brought in the women to come and help.
And to see the emotional investment where you get into this thing, the passion and commitment where you get to them. So family, where they follow Manti, where they follow me right now, I want to encourage you now, or share the links there. Now, groups there, family members there, to friends, to loved ones there. Let the debate go on. I think this one very, very important. So, but I'm not hearing from the woman there. So, since they passes this lawyer, Manti. So, what's not the big?
I think the women
are they away from home. I don't know what's in the apple. How do women not receive this enactment?
The women came in the numbers in parliament. The women came in full support. I think say they support the bill. For me, the one where they hear from, they're very much in support. Like everything, they wish them for being get more. They wish more for being be given. But to me, they assure everybody that this is the starting for Musa Ukomot to what in this act don't give it. It far supersedes expectation. So now then they wait for all the amendments there, let a draft person put all the amendments together so that the actual bill be published. Where then they publish now, all man can see verbatim what is written in the actual act. So now then I think then they wait for.
I know one for preemptive. So what's in the signing ceremony go look like? What's it go look like? But you can one. Because the way they say woman and gladly they are coming into parliament, live groups from across the country, that means the woman and gladly for her. And no Salone woman and wouldn't gladly for some. But if you don't want to talk, you don't want to do leakage, that's okay. It's up to you. But you talk about job creation. Somebody in the area they say you need for work with the Ministry of Labor, because it's a lot of unfair employment practices that happen. So please let not get women safe.
Exactly. This is, you see, I'm glad the way somebody say that. These are the issues that we have to address. But when the team don't pass, now I make that steering committee day. Because that steering committee, all the ministry them, we get for implement then the inside, plus civil society, plus women's groups for paramount chief representative, they're all the inside. For let we make sure say you correct the anomaly then so because the law don't tell you say you for do so. So labor get for day inside the steering committee, and all man get for the kind of report on a quarterly basis for say what you don't do for correct these issues, so that we make sure say the face change, the face of your ministry or the face of the country change in the employment sector?
Okay, so Mansi, say when we don't pass 50 small, we are born before computers, at least not this part of the world. So, my son nine text me say, Daddy, put that in a permanent place, put your phone in a permanent place. So now that make a put that so you see, we go more seamlessly. So this is valuable learning we need to take. So you mentioned about public education. You think say this kind of lawyer, so Mami Marie self with the side time for area, government for area, any side that is country within the within now the kind preparations we get for that. I want for first off for commit the Ministry of Information and Communications, the Strategic Communications Unit will all go support you for put boots on the ground because it's now very, very, very major transformative legislation who want for help you for let all salon people know about that. Waiting at the plans there for this YS. We'll not do it.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for the commitment from your ministry. Definitely, we need you guys. You are the technical people who know how to do it. So we really need you. But not to no more. We will call other partners. And we want let all man, the whole country, let the whole country be aware and let the whole country in the West be monitors. Let them be monitors themselves. Because as I say earlier, this bill, it affects rural women, it affects educated women, urban women, everybody, it touch all man. So everybody get for be monitor. Everybody for monitor for make sure say the implementation they happen. But in terms of the mass education, we put a consortium together. We pull people then together. We get to reach some people then we get big reach now certain districts. We pull you together. Some people then get big reach now certain communities. We pull you together. Let we educate them first. Let them self understand about the bill before they come out. Waiting the act say. Waiting at the benefit of the act. Let them understand waiting for say. Not so for just grab no more. You go begin talk. You don't know what they talk. May they understand first what the act say. Once they don't get the understanding, we don't certify them, say they are okay, they can now go out and represent the act that we send them out now in the community.
Okay, Jennifer BM Kruma said, great job, Minister Taroli. I listened to your presentation. You rocked it. Aruna Kamara said, thank you very much. Nasu Fufana says, signing ceremony will be historical. This is a game changer. So the woman
Nasu is on board. Nasu is in.
Well, that can only come from a person from my village. Yeah,
who's that?
Thanks, honorable ministers, as you educate us on the new gender bill, waiting to see for its implementation. Abubakar Sheriff Nine say, they tell you plenty, thank you. Michael Prince Thompson, is a social worker of over 30 years experience working across the districts. Tonkolili is the most resistant, and I wish piloting of GUI must start there. Okay? Albert Fuji, say I work with the Ministry of Labor, like maternity leave. The women need more time to look after children at a young age. Having 36 hours a week for mothers would be great to have. That's Albert Fuji. Madam Minister, you are making history just by reaching out, detailing the processes and future plans. Bravo and keep it up. Dana from Brian Content. Aruna Kamara say, I'm watching this from Kamalu. Why Kamalo na the former flag bearer of the APC na the Ekomo. Some of the progressive legislations, no government no go ever reverse them because Sierra Leoneans will not. Martin Biose, good work, gender minister. Janet Matamusa, of course, Janet, I want for commending a permanent feature of this program. We really appreciate your time and your effort. Janet say, gender equality in the workplace means being paid the same salary for equal work, regardless of gender. It also means that if a woman takes time off from work to take maternity leave, for example, she will not be punished when she returns to work. So you see people then they help you for breaking the bill down, right?
Even within Janet,
you are one of the best ministers. Patrick
even within Janet,
thank you, Honorable.
Even within Janet, they talk so it inside the bill. equal pay for equal work of equal value. It inside it. It's also the bill also talks about you cannot no employer not for dismiss a woman based on pregnancy. It inside the bill. Then the sexual harassment. It inside the bill. So it covers all those issues that they talk about.
Okay, so what time almost done. But listeners and they viewers and they want for know what's in a sexual harassment. When I don't put under the bill now, I don't say the definition within the bill, but I don't see them question the car putting a sexual harassment because some man will even do and they don't say na they don't commit. Or if you want to be part of the public,
the sexual harassment really within at the bill because I had a lot of conversation. We get a lot of conversation. It evoke a lot of emotions. Now the well they talk about that. So what we do inside the act now for refer to the Sexual Offences Amendment Act 2019 because it's covered in there. So already the law has, we have a law for sexual harassment. So this bill also mentions it, but it refers to the Sexual Offences Amendment Act of 2019.
Okay, so now the same thing we've been doing come to the cybersecurity and crime law, the definition of terrorism, now the Drugs Money Laundering Act of 2011, now the same one we use back. So just for the people, you can make references, you know, because it has already been defined previously.
Absolutely, so, absolutely.
Yeah. So I want to encourage family, follow, we share. The discussions don't get really exciting. But Manzi, I think so this one we will need another moment. People they're really excited, they're really interested in what's in the happen today. We're not going to read all the text messages there, but family interested in what's in the go on. So I want for ask, follow, continue for share, follow, continue for discuss up because this now some legislation where they touch at the very heart of many issues where they happen in our country from colonial times to now. Women are not marginalized, they don't get rights, but many things there. You know, this government, so somebody say another goal scored by power government, and this is another goal for we then see how they do not to tick box exercises. Now, issues then where they are at the very heart of development. Manti mentioned say because there are constraints for women access loan, credit in a bank, entrepreneurship not able to thrive. Small, medium enterprises, the woman they do, they're not able to get capital for doing. Now that this law declare them barriers and the obstacles, and the more women will get access to credit, and then we will go into businesses, then we will look after themselves and their families. You know, the president can always talk and say, "We give man before he reach house, they reach a house, and they go send some good on force." But for the most part, the woman the way you give them, then they can cry and go home for look after we. Not so.
Yes, absolutely.
Yes, now read the last set of text messages then. Then you will come in for respond now, then we'll
go. Okay.
Brahma Conte say, His Excellency not get no alternative path for signing this bill because it's so progressive and is a progressive person. Basde Momo say this now another goal scored by Paupa. Saleh Boma say, brave madam, well done from UK. So the beauty about this program is from Kamalo to Solima to Tiun to every place, then they follow this program. From Australia to UK to Dubai to every place. So this is a global program. And I want to tell you all plenty thank you for all take time off for talk about it. Abubakar Sheriff said, come 2023, women of Sierra Leone will say thanks to HE President Bill as reward for the long-awaited bill. So Abubakar Sheriff na say so. I think it's only but fitting and proper. If you want, let them development aspirations here continue for the goal. The man will believe in now. The man will bring the gender empowerment bill, for example. You get for votes and back for let continue for give more empowerment to women. You know, like I can say, if you want a continuation of free quality education, you get for continue for support the government who believes education is the way. Manti today Naya, whilst we talk with the technology minister, some conversation come up where the deputy minister for technical and higher education tell, then say, anybody who will go university where they study STEAM subjects, like science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, it get scholarship. The man said, what? Are you serious? How do you do it? So part of the argument has been, would they say would they give women 30%? again, this is not from me, at the rate from what's in there. So people then they say, do we have 30% of women that qualify in all them positions there? I want to answer to that one day.
That is a brilliant question. It's a brilliant question because now the question in Nande way, they put this together. Now the question in Nande way, in the cam. Now, what in this mean? It means say the woman then now they get motivated. When you I say this all the time that if I set up something I ask today, I say only women apply. Women they no go apply. Because they don't get knocked back for so long that they're not even bother say for try again. Because they don't feel say chance day. So they're not a bother. So each time we want for get to woman there, now we ministry, we get for be very intentional and target them specifically. You can't do open. If you do open, they don't come forward because people don't understand the level of marginalization where women then don't go through. People don't even understand it. They don't knock them back. So women then where they are university, where they move forward for STEM, we make this scholarship come. Now because they don't feel say it's not possible. Let's make her forgo, they're not possible. So it just shows that they were not going into the space where the scholarship can. Look at the numbers we enter. Look at the numbers now where they go inside for good one. It's the same thing. Because the woman they have been knocked back for so long, we they feel say the woman they know they, but then they. Our own statistics show say the women are there and the women are ready. If they're not in a specific discipline, it gives the onus on the employer for train. It gives the onus on the employer for going to universities there and talk about that area of employment that we need women then they. It gives the onus on the employer for find innovative ways for make sure that the woman then come. Transfer skills from one to another. Because most of the things that we study in our university, we have transfer of skills in there. I can do communications now university, but I go employ somewhere else. The discipline, something that they were don't learn, I go able to pick up from other discipline based on the learning what I don't get in a university. So all of that means the employers will now have innovative thinking on how to ensure that we get the woman then at the workplace. One thing is we have the numbers. We are 52%. And so now the onus is on all of us for make sure say them 52% there, so get them placed in the economy, get them placed in the workplace because it is possible. They're there, they're willing, they're ready. Then just need that motivation. The motivation don't come and the law, the implementation now come where would they come push penalties then they where we go make sure say are implemented if people they not do it in they're supposed to do. We have to change the story. We don't begin and we will take it to the end. We have to change the story.
The pastor is so palpable that he almost put a knife on. Yes, at the thing that you are literally on fire. This is one of them issues that I see you really passionate discussing. So in the last 1 week or so, Sierra Leone has been in the news for all the right reasons. From getting a dedicated day for observe and commemorate rape victims and sexual penetration and law find solutions to them, November 18, then we'll get the gender empowerment law. I mean, this country is blessed for getting leadership. We get commitment to bridging the gender gap. We get commitment to empowering women. So I think this is a really incredibly great thing. Other women who will not live for see today, then will return that engraved them. Other brave Sierra Leonean women who would have loved to dare, right? But, well, President Bio was not president. You now have a president who sees value in these things.
So, but you don't ignore them. You don't ignore their contributions because for the USA would they so now the contributions then where other people then don't make. The Madam Yoko's, all that one and they then contributions then we don't make. Ella Koblo, all that one and they one after another. You build on it one after another. There is no way person for being Kanayason at this position platform no day nothing had been achieved and you're able to achieve and 1 year and 1 month. No, we have to acknowledge the contributions Shali Bujama made, the contributions that other people made that on them platform then they now take we to Musa we did so right now.
Nine can say you stood on the shoulders of a giant.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Now Parliament even 1 minute. Parliament even I say the baton was given to me by others. Some of them are here, some of them are not here. They gave me the baton to get to the finish line, not only start the race. They gave me the baton. I took it to the finish line.
We want to see in government, you recognize and validate the contributions of other people there. I mean, that is decent. That is the right thing to do. Some few things anyway you don't touch on, what I need for Rob Motpa as we round up this program. You don't talk about training. Usai, you don't get enough women there in the workplace for that will make up 30%. So training is key, which means before now, my previous career may not be a human resources and organizational development practitioner who being used for say old school, again, may not be old school now in the place of this law, will be used for say, one finished product, who know how for expend money on training people there. So now this law, they make anybody who get that kind of mindset, they call people, not so.
Absolutely. I mean,
yeah,
you will be surprised to hear that when training can counsel na institution there, how then they bypass women for so many reasons. Because you get picking, because you married, because for so many reasons they are bypassed. So this law now they means that because it's also in the law that for training and promotion, the gender equality is in there 30% or a minimum or at least 30% for be implemented by employers in the workplace. All that thing and then now we get for the look at. So that committee day therefore be very, very, very technical for let we ensure say we they do monitoring. We they get reports from the gender units within those ministries and within the private sector so that we know within action we for take going forward.
Okay, so Charles Champion Contest say, really glad you all not break this program, what the continue for bring them from McKinney to talk. Say ignorance the tribe, way information not day. This is so really glad this program will have indelible footprints on the sands of time. So Manti, we share in this. All of who don't can participate. Yeah. So I think say this conversation here not go end the way I see the goal. So I want let you wrap up now in 1 minute. Let the debate continue even after the end of the program. We're going to continue for sharing on our groups then, to family, to friends, to anywhere we go make. I see my colleagues then, people in dinner will share them, Baba Shek there, then Salon blog, forums there. They all they share this live feeds there. We hope for listen to them conversations and because I mean in the democracy, His Excellency be non-committee, we go run a democratic and accountable government. This is not part of democratic accountability for council people then talk to them or engage. We get the impulse on many issues there, the responses there, the experiences there, and all that. And that is what this program does. Oh, talk about, I mean, Nanef court, or not a lie. Thank you very much. Manzi, you want for wrap up?
Yeah. I mean, just want to use this opportunity for thank everybody. We log in and we listen to what we'll get for say. This now one big milestone now comes what we call the beast of implementation, and now we all they get involved in this. I want to let everybody put their hand on this. Yes, we have a steering committee. Yes, the ministry will take the lead, but let all man also be watchful because we want this to be implemented and implemented to the fullest because it is not just for woman the normal for let woman then say the woman they also they don't left behind one puts their let them get their rightful place. It is for you and for me because when the economy is strong, you the benefit, me the benefit. So let all man put their hand behind this. Let we implement her and let we make sure say Salon move from Musa Ide and he move on go to the middle income status where we all the push for me it gets to.
Okay, so thank you, Manti. I just want Rob Mott say this policy, not to stand alone policy, a lot of other building blocks they're not in place for supporter. For example, this year we officially commence the student loan scheme. where they give people an opportunity for able to fund their education. Part of them people they so Manti that they say go affect that one, right? Will it affect that?
Absolutely.
Yes, so 30%
Basically, what it will mean is that I'm going to give the students loan scheme, a minimum of the recipients for be at least 30% for be girls.
So you see, already we are making progress on this flank. Again, we already know, say, through the Ministry of Technical and Higher Education, women then where they go study science, technology, engineering, mathematics, then they get scholarship automatically once they apply for it. All this now for lay the foundation, put the building blocks in place for make sure say women then prepare for this 30% appointed positions, this 30% representative positions, and this 30% that the private sector for take advantage of entrepreneurial opportunities for access to credit and all lending in it. So we want for use this opportunity for tell thank you, for appreciate the efforts of Parliament for standing up to the occasion this time, and for being a truly progressive Parliament and not enact boku progressive legislations there. I mean, we might have our ifs and buts about them, but in moments when they have mattered most, they have risen to the occasion. I want to tell the leadership of Parliament, plenty thank you, the Right Honourable Speaker, the minority leader, the leader of government business, and all the other officials who made those very brilliant contributions for making this day happen. On that note, I want to tell Una plenty thank you. Manti, until then, it's been a very exciting moment. So do you have family and allow continue for share? Let the debate continue. Next week, I will bring one of our favorite ministers there because the popular call has been for the Minister of Agriculture and the Minister of Trade. I can tell you, say none of them put any of afraid for Mituna. As a matter of fact, then they look forward to that very, very much. Namanti we pull this successful thing na of state there. Today I want to bring the Minister of Trade. But because this was so topical, it could not have gone on undiscussed. So until then, bye-bye. It's been a really great pleasure. Una, thank you.
Thank you for having me. Thank you for having me. Anytime.
Bye. Okay.
Yeah.
God bless.
Okay.
Bye.
Yeah. Bye.